Alright, what's going on, guys? So right now I'm working on the Nitrous minivan. So I had to reinstall the Nitrous solenoid on this thing, but we just got it put back together. I had to go get a new nozzle right back here. That thing was like 65 bucks just for that little guy. But it's back on the 100 shot and everything should be hooked up again. And I think we're gonna go take it for a drive. I do want to show you guys some things I got for it, but I'll do that a little later. So just some more pieces that we got in the mail for the van. And I also got this other bottle for it from Brent. So thank you, Brent, for letting me borrow this huge nitrous bottle. We're gonna go mob it around real quick and hopefully everything is hooked up correctly. So we just gotta get this strapped down and get this other line hooked up, and we're gonna go rip the Nitrous minivan. It is dark outside already though, because we've been working on it like all day. I had to keep running back and forth to find parts for it, but I think it's ready to go and we're gonna go try it out once I get this bottle all strapped down and seat belted in. I mean, technically you're supposed to keep these at like a 45-degree angle or something, but we're just going like straight up.
Just gonna send it. Should go ahead
Oh
and
yeah, that's not going anywhere.
throw on that seatbelt for extra protection.
Oh yeah. Don't need her going nowhere.
Yep, that's not going nowhere. Guaranteed.
Always take care of your loved ones. Oh yeah, that's on there tight.
Sweet.
Oh shit.
It's the sound of death.
The sound of bad decisions. Alright. Yeah, we are going to put this thing on a bigger shot later on, but I know it's running good on the 100, so we're just going to leave it right there for now. But I do plan on putting like a 150 or 175 and just see if it holds. But we're going to try that out for now. Oh yeah. There you go, close that up.
Honestly, that doesn't roll down.
I was gonna pop my mirror out. My mirror is flying in.
Open the door.
Shit.
Open here, I'll hold the wheel.
We're good. Alright, you ready?
Yeah. Oh shit! That didn't sound good.
It didn't feel like it hit as hard as it normally does though. You can definitely feel it though.
Yeah. You can hear it too.
Yeah, it gets loud. It sounds like it's hitting VTEC.
Oh, did that just backfire?
Oh, it's because I left it in first.
Oh, that's probably why. Oh my god.
Actually, we're gonna do it without it. And then watch when I hit it.
Oh,
Dude, it gets up to 60 pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
That's freaking hilarious.
Just wait till it's 600 horsepower.
Just floor it.
Alright, ready? And nitrous. It barely did anything.
It squealed him.
It barely did. This thing's so sad. That was pathetic. Alright, so that burnout was pretty pathetic. The e-brake barely held this thing down at all. But either way, this thing is still a blast to drive. The nitrous does hit pretty hard for being a 100 shot. And just the fact that it's in a minivan, I think makes it that much more awesome. But we're definitely going to try to put a bigger jet into the nozzle and turn this thing up and see how much power it will hold before it blows this motor up. This thing has 318,000 miles, I think, on it, or like 312,000. Has a lot of miles on it, and I just want to see how much more this thing can take. It's probably going to run out of fuel if I try to put the bigger jets in it, but I will be saving that for a day when I can take it to the dyno so we can actually see what sort of numbers it makes. But even right now, making 180 wheel horsepower on the 100 shot, it's still fun to mess around in. But I'm making this video on a pretty short notice, and I mainly wanted to show you guys some of the parts that we got in for this thing. So some of these things you may have seen already, but a couple of them will probably be new to you guys. So to start things off, we just got these mounts in the mail. These are some Hassport or no, these are innovative mounts, and these are for like a 94 to 97 Accord. They share the same engine bay as these Odysseys. And these right here are the 95A compound. So these are rated for over 600 wheel horsepower, and those should hold up great. These are actually nicer mounts that are in my hatch. The hatch has eBay mounts, so the minivan's getting some nicer parts, and it's getting a sleeved block, which the hatch doesn't even have either. But I think it's going to be worth it either way. I have a stage 4 competition clutch right here. Actually, the disc is a stage 4, this part right here, and then this is my old stage 5 pressure plate out of my hatch, and I made over 610 horsepower on this clutch, but my 4-puck disc started getting damaged a little bit, so I got this stage 4 disc for really cheap. So I'm going to be using that one and see how much power it should hold. It should be able to hold an easy 500 horsepower, so we'll try that clutch out. And I got some eBay H-beam rods. These are also used, and these came out of an H22 that made 680 wheel horsepower, and these are straight up just $200 rods, no name at all, and I'm just going to send it with these rods. They should be plenty strong for what I want. I got some main bearings in this box, and I also have some rod bearings over in my toolbox over there, and I don't know why I'm trying to put these away, but I also got a Honda for the minivan as well. This is the S300 with the V2 chip. This has been in a couple videos already, I think a while back. I actually think the 2-step is still set up on this thing. I do want to try that real quick. I think the minivan will still run on that Honda. We set up the 2-step. It just won't run and drive on it yet because it needs to be a manual transmission. If I do plug it in, it will start the motor, but it won't go anywhere because it will just stay in limp mode because the computer doesn't know what it's doing. And of course, we got the sleeved H22 block. And then the turbo that's going to be going on this thing is one of these GTX 3582Rs, another eBay turbo. Same one that's on the hatch, dual ball bearing. It's not going to be this exact turbo right here. This one is actually bad, but I will be ordering a new one for it, and it is going to be this same turbo setup right here. I also have some stuff to make a manifold for it as well in the future. This stuff right here is actually for the wagon, but it's going to be similar stuff. I need to get like a bandsaw or something so I can learn how to make collectors, but other than that, I will be fabbing up the rest of that. And yeah, that's pretty much the parts I have in right now for the minivan. I still need to get pistons, which are on the way. Pistons are ordered, so those should be on their way very soon. I need to get a shifter assembly to convert it to a manual because I am going to be putting a manual transmission in this thing. And then I will need to put together a transmission. I have some cases and some gear sets in my shed outside, and I think I have enough to throw a transmission together for now. It might not be the best shifting, but for the meantime, it will work. And let me think. I think that's pretty much all I need. Once I get the transmission, shifter cables, and the pistons in, I have everything right here ready to go to throw this thing together. The harness, like I said in another video, should already work. And we're just going to rip this thing out, put the new mounts on, drop everything in, and it should be ready to go once we get the motor built for this thing. And it's going to be a really fun project, guys. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of this is kind of deja vu. I've talked about some of these already, but I am really excited. And for those of you who are new to the channel and just now seeing this, just kind of giving you guys an idea of what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much where the minivan's at so far. Oh, I do also have a crank. This one right here is for the MR2. That's a K24 crank, which I'll talk about later. But I do have the H22 crank back over here behind my toolbox. It's like right there. So I do have all that as well, and I already got it checked out. It's ready to go. I might just get it polished and balanced before I throw it in, but that will only take a day. So yeah, and I also do have the head down here. So this is an H22A head. Oh yeah, that is one more thing I will need. I do need to put springs and retainers into this head. It's just wrapped up in a garbage bag right now, but I do want to upgrade the springs and retainers so I can rev it out a little harder. And I need ARP main studs. I did forget about those, so I need to order those actually, but that should be fast as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at on the minivan for parts. So it is getting closer. Once I gather everything up, like I said, we're definitely going to probably blow this thing up, and if the motor holds, then the motor holds. But once I get all the parts ready, it's not going to be long before we rip this thing out, and then we'll have a whole bunch to do over this winter. Going to focus a lot on this, probably do some more things to the hatch. I'm going to do a lot of things to the MR2. And yeah, it's going to be a fun winter for sure. Get this thing going, because I can't wait to have like a 600 plus horsepower minivan just mobbing down the streets. Like, it's going to be so fun. But yeah, I think in the meantime, I'm gonna plug this Honda in real quick and see if the two-step's still set up, because now I'm curious. Got the Honda plugged in. It should start up, because I think the last time I used the Honda was on this van. Oh yeah, there we go. She's running. Got a check engine light on though. I'm gonna give it 1 sec to warm up. Let me see if that two-step's still working. It totally does. And let me put the camera outside the tailpipe real quick. Whatever is coming out of this exhaust is nasty. This thing also smokes pretty bad too, but that's funny the two-step is still set up. I just can't wait till it has an open downpipe so we can really hear that two-step popping off, because right now the full exhaust is muffling it a lot. And that's something else I wanted to mention. I do plan on leaving a full exhaust on this minivan, but it is gonna have either a boost actuated cutout or an electronic switch activated cutout. And I want to keep it super sleeper, so when it's just normally driving around, you won't be able to hear it at all, because it's just going to have a full exhaust and sound and look like a normal minivan. But once you hit either boost or flip the switch for the cutout, I haven't decided which one I want to use yet, it's going to dump the exhaust straight out somewhere, because it's not going to be able to have a full exhaust and make that kind of power. So it's going to have to open up the exhaust somewhere and pretty much just be straight piped right out of the turbo, right off the downpipe. Pretty much like how the hatch is out the hood, but I don't want to put it out the hood or like out the fender, because I don't want it to be obvious that there's anything done to this thing. So I'll probably just have it like straight down or something, so it might be shooting flames underneath the car, or I don't know, maybe you guys can give me some ideas of what I should do with the exhaust. But I do want to have some sort of cutout, because that's kind of like the ultimate sleeper thing to do to this. But yeah, I'm super excited for this build, guys. Also, if you guys have some other ideas for the minivan, be sure to let me know in the comments. A lot of you guys out there are pretty creative and can think of some pretty funny things to do with this thing. So I'm still open to new ideas all the time. So if you do have something in mind, let me know. Maybe I'll add it to the van, make it a lot funnier or something like that. But yeah, sorry there was so much talking in this video. Like I said, it was made pretty short notice, just pretty much updating you guys with all the parts and stuff and where we're at on the van, because I just want to get this thing going, guys. Like, it's gonna be so much fun. But yeah, with that being said, it's pretty much it for tonight, guys. So thanks for watching.